Live button. I'm sitting here talking to myself. Dang it. Alright, well. Thankfully I got Glee to yell at me down the hallway. Alright, so let's see. Twitch, okay, so Twitch has been live this whole time. I just forgot to hit the go live button on YouTube. Okay. Well, anyway, hello again. Oh, man. So I was talking about the convention I went to this weekend. But yes, hello, hi again. Blaze and Wisp and Glee. I also made to mention that my allergies are killing me. But it's not Concred. So anyway, the convention, it was all right. A lot of garage sale junk vendors, but there were some cool artists. And I guess I'll run through the roster again. Ron Perlman was there, Scooby-Doo was there, Courage the Cowardly Dog was there. The OG Turtles were there. April O'Neil was there. Filling out expense reports and lurking. Boy. Yeah, that's right. You just had a trip. That's right. YouTube really demands I refresh after you probably... Yeah. I don't understand what's up with that. Today it might have been because I forgot to hit go live, but I'm wondering what I need to try next time, and I'll try it tomorrow. If I hit go live before the start time. See, normally I wait right till the start time, and then I hit the go live button on YouTube. So I'm wondering if I hit the go live button and then just have a starting soon image on there, if it'll actually start for you guys. But that's kind of been my experience too when setting in other people's things. I have to hit refresh when they go live, so I'm not sure what the point of that is. Kind of weird. Anyway, what I was saying earlier, it didn't have a very big turnout, despite what I thought was an impressive roster of people coming down. It was just a Saturday and Sunday thing. At least it was local. I didn't have to drive far, and it wasn't a ttrpg convention. It was just a Comic-Con in general. But there were some cool artists there. Glee got to talk to some of them, and then me and my buddy went, and he got a picture signed by Ron Perlman the first day, and there was a huge line for him. And then the next day we went, my buddy's dad was like, well, I want one too. Can you get me one? So I was like, okay, I guess we'll get back in line. And we got there kind of early, and there was nobody there. There's nobody in line. He was just chilling out. So we went up to the thing, got a picture, and had him sign it, and we started to leave, and he was kind of bored and wanted to chat a little bit. So I was like, all right, man. I did the Memphis thing and asked him, I was like, did you get anything good to eat while you were here yesterday? So we got to talking about barbecue. What's up, Twice Dead? And then my buddy, I don't know what possessed him to do this. Because I asked Ron Perlman, I was like, yeah, did you get anything good to eat? Oh yeah, got some barbecue. You know how he sounds, that real deep voice. Got some barbecue. And then got talking about it, and my buddy was like, yeah, probably wasn't the most healthy thing in the world. Ron was like, I didn't want to know that, man. Why'd you tell me that for? Oh, not sure what possessed him to do such a thing. I mean, it wasn't healthy, but dang, guy's old, let him eat. Getting to know all those famous people, yeah. Well, I almost stepped on April O'Neil. So it turns out the voice actor for her, she comes up, I kid you not, probably like right here to me. She was very short, and I almost stepped right on her. It was the next day, when nobody was there, and we were all just walking around. Knocked her right over. Courage the Cowardly Dog threw me for a loop. He sounds so different from his character. Like, he is super gruff and like thick New York accent. Like, he got up on the stage like, hey, how y'all doing? Like, I thought he was doing a bit. It's like, oh no, that is his actual voice. Oh man. It was I went to two panels. I went to the Ninja Turtle panel, and I appreciated them, what they did. All the, they all had their mics, and everybody's cord, their whatever, their XLR cables coming out of their mics, they were all color coded. Like April's was yellow, Michelangelo's was orange, Raph's was red. That was a neat touch. Why you no answer phone, BB? Because I was busy. You have a bad habit of calling me when I'm scooping the cat litter box. So, and then it was close to stream time, so I figured you'd be here. What'd you want? He's a cool dude. Got a signature from him from Ron Perlman. He's pretty. It's like Saturday. He didn't seem like he wanted to be there. Like he didn't seem like he was having a good time. But I didn't interact with him that day. I was just what I caught in the corner of my eye. But then yeah, Sunday it was just like. It's like, yeah, don't leave. Sit out, hang out, sit around and hang around. You know, chat while I wait for the next person. And the panels were a little weird because the crowd was so small. It had to be awkward for those guys to be doing that. And then when they opened the mic to questions, some of the people that got up there were. I was catching some secondhand embarrassment. I mean, I embarrass easy, but still. Bibble question. Oh man, you want the ultimate knowledge, or you just want me to do the work for you? One of the two. Is it time for you to make a study? From the VA for Courage. Well, is it? He's supposed to be having a new. Oh, the voice actor for Courage. Yeah. Yeah. So apparently, the vibe I was getting is the voice of Scooby-Doo and the voice of Courage are apparently pretty good buddies, which I think is hilarious. If they're not good buddies, they at least had really good chemistry when they were working together, so that was funny. You just want to be spoon-fed. Oh, you want me to do all the work for you. Figures. Well, you're gonna have to get in line, man. I got there's a lot of people waiting on me for stuff. But it was neat. The turtles, those guys. Leonardo looks like golly, I had his name right there. What's the guy from Jurassic Park? The OG Jurassic Park. Really goofy guy. You know, the guy that goes, oh, there it is. Golly, what was his name? Just total brain fart. All right, let me go look it up. That's gonna bother me. How do you forget that guy's name? All Jurassic Park movies. Oh man, Jeff Goldblum. That guy. Golly, that name just completely left me. Leonardo looks like Jeff Goldblum. It dresses like him too, like really loud colors and everything. It's funny. Streaming this on a TV in the back of an Escalade. Hey, man. Do what you gotta do. But those guys were like... I don't know. I don't want to be mean to them. But like, they have been out... They're still doing voices here and there. But I feel like they've been out of the game for a long time. Because they just... They seemed confused a lot. Like when people were trying to ask them questions and whatnot. So they're just like, I don't understand. Like, I swear. And maybe he just didn't hear what Guy was asking him. Apparently the voice of Leonardo was also in a Metal Gear game. And the poor guy didn't even know what Metal Gear was. He's like, oh, I was in that? Oh, yeah, sure. Just like, dang. Goodness. So, but it was fun. It was a good time. Got to hang out with my buddy. Hadn't seen him in years, so. It was the guy in the video I just dropped yesterday. That goofy guy. So we got to catch up a bit. That was alright. I'm trying to think. I think that's about all the exciting stuff that happened there. It was just it was only 2 days, and then the days were pretty short. I think technically the con closed up at 6 on Saturday. And we were out of there at like 2 because we didn't, or no, we left. I think we either left at 1 or got home at 1 and got there at 10. So it didn't take much. It wasn't like Gen Con where I walked around for 4 straight days and still didn't see everything just in the event, or not the event hall, but wherever all the vendors are. Surprising how often VAs forget the rules. Yeah. if you do a lot, like if you're in like Steve Bloom's level, and whatever that one lady's name is, I can't remember. They've just done a million things. Yeah, there's no way they can keep up with them. I guess what I was trying to say, it doesn't, aside from turtles, I don't think any of them, Raphael aside, he seemed to be able to keep up with everything. Because he's done a lot of work. All those other guys weren't really in to the things surrounding turtles. Like, they just weren't interested. Like Metal Gear, like, that was just a job for him. He didn't have any interest in it, so they were just like, yeah, I'm just here to voice. Like, they don't play the games, don't watch any shows aside from turtles. So I guess that's why they were so detached and kind of lost. Saw some really good Moss and Stones yesterday out and about. Would you save any of them? I forget what was Raph's name, his voice actor. He's like the Animaniac, and he had a big line of people waiting to get his signature. So apparently he's pretty popular. But I think got me a decent cheeseburger while I was there. That was all right. But nothing. Yeah, well, I was going to say, yeah, Sunday at like 4 o'clock, they started tearing down. Just booths were coming down. It was in the middle of Courage and Scooby-Doo's little panel. They were doing theirs right in the middle of it. Courage was talking. You just heard this. Somebody's ripping up tape off the floor. Courage was like, the hell was that? He thought somebody was passing gas. But anyway. So, let's see, what do we have going on this week? Today is, what is today? The 30th. So tomorrow's Moss and Stone game. Burgers at cons are expensive as hell, aren't they? Well, so, probably. But, this thing was in a sports and event center. So there was the con in this one section of the building, and then if you went through this hallway for a bit, basically like a tunnel, into the other section of the building, there were basketball games taking place. So you snuck over there to the basketball game area, and they had a concession stand. And yeah, I don't know, I say it was overpriced, but not really. Because it was a pretty decent burger and fries, and it came with a drink, so it's about what you would have paid at a fast food place. Not a can of beans. No, they didn't have no beans. No beans for their nachos. So it really wasn't a con burgers. Whereas at Gen Con, they had all the food trucks show up and you went out to them, and yeah, you paid out the butt for those and only got like a tiny amount of food. That was ridiculous. Also, what's up, Glenn? Love that VAs are getting limelight. I wish I was more into particularities and desired signatures. Yeah, the signature thing doesn't do it for me. Me and my buddy were talking about that. It's like, I don't care. Like, I don't care to get a picture. I don't care to get the signatures and everything. And it's not that I don't like them. It's like, I like what they do. It's pretty cool. But then I was trying to explain to him, it's like, well, if I was, when GM Scotty, when I was talking to him, then I was doing the fangirling thing. Like, oh my gosh, I'm talking to Scotty, I'm like going to play a game with him. Because that's like, I'm hanging out with him. And then that second day, I thought hanging out with Ron Perlman just for a couple minutes, that was cool. Because we were just sitting there shooting the breeze and talking. That was more impactful than like getting a signature and a picture and all that. Like, that's cool. Just hang out with the guy and shoot the poop with him. But I did want to say, Wisp, the voice actor for Courage the Cowardly Dog, he was that's the only, I think he said that's the only voiceover work he's done. Everything else he's been an actor, like on some Law and Order episodes and stuff. And he said getting into that and then getting invited to conventions just completely changed his life and altered his course in the world. Like, it just revealed a whole new world to him he didn't know existed, and thought it was the coolest thing. So and that was something the Turtles group really highlighted too. So I guess these voice actors and stuff, they're really enjoying these cons and stuff. Or maybe it's just PR, I don't know. But Beans just saying hi while doing office work. Not sure when I'll get called in for the next patient case. Uh-oh. DM Scotty Ron Perlman. I was like, yeah. That's cool stuff. This sounds like Final Fantasy VII. It is. Ha! Look at that. I know my music. So, don't know. I don't know if I'd go to a Gen Con sized Comic Con, because see, at Gen Con, that's stuff that I'm working in, you know, kind of involved with the ttrpg space, whereas Comic Con's like, I'm not things I enjoy, but I am not a part of, right? Both good PR and a legitimate pleasure to do. Yeah, and I think it was Scooby-Doo was saying that. He's like, yeah, there's some real financial incentive to do this, but once you start doing it and you experience it for the first time, like it's a big game changer. So, you know, $60 a signature. Yeah, there's some financial incentive. So involved, people can be into certain topics and still be a normie compared to the fans of that topic. Yeah. So what was it? I think it was Raph's voice actor was saying it will never cease to amaze him how some people can just, you know, go to these conventions and get on the mic and ask a question and just remember so much of their work that they had completely forgotten, and they'll know the exact episode at the exact time and how long they were in that episode. He's like, I don't know how they do it, but you know, it's a thing. Been to MegaCon and New York Comic Con. Those are likely the biggest Comic Cons I've attended. Awesome con. Well, see, this was the first thing that was local, so I had to go check it out. It was like 45 minutes up the road. So, but where I live, kind of everything is 45 minutes up the road, so it was right around the corner for me. Oh, living out in the sticks. Let's see, what was I saying? I was looking at this week. So tomorrow's Moss and Stone. We have a game of Moss and Stone. It's going to be super casual. It's going to be me, Blaze, and the Great Mustache. I'm going to try and lean a little more into the deadliness of it. Which con was it again? Blue City Comic Con. Actually, don't let me lie to you. Was that the full name? Blue City Comic Con. Yep. Yeah, and this lady named Emily Swallow was there, and the only thing on her picture here that I'm looking at that I recognized, which I guess I can just put right here, was the Mandalorian, the Smith from the Mandalorian, and I really wanted to get in line for an autograph just so I could ask her, was it worth it? Was the money really worth it to be on that show? Oh. Heard about the allergies and came as fast as I could. We tried unsolicited medical advice. My grand swears by it. Hey, you know, the current medical advice is try not to die. The armor and the darkness. Yeah, and then somebody had to point out to me she's the lady from Supernatural. I think this is the cop one right here. So I was like, oh, okay. And this guy. Oh, I thought he was one that backed out last minute. He made it. And there's the turtle crew. Yeah, this lady right here. She's like 3 feet tall, man. Scooby-Doo. Couple Power Rangers. I didn't talk to any of them. I kind of would have liked to have seen more. Maybe they had panels and I missed it, because we did have to leave early Saturday. Some of these artists here. I saw this lady over there at her booth, tucked away way back in the corner. And they were supposed to have the live action April O'Neil, but she didn't make it. So, it's pretty cool. Why are you afraid, Blaze? Ready for May? That's when a local game con pops off. Hey, well, you know, maybe after this one, people will be like, hey, we made money doing this. Let's bring in the ttrpg nerds. So maybe. Let's see, where'd my calendar go? You said you would kill us. Yeah. I mean, maybe. Kerry Peyton, he's cool. Is that the guy? Yeah, Peyton. Except I think it's pronounced Kyrie. I heard somebody there say it like that. I recognize a lot of his work here, so seems like an alright guy. Particularly smart, yeah. I might kill off a few of you tomorrow, Blaze. Gonna try and be a little more deadly. Lean into that part of EZD6, but you know, y'all will have karma to use. You just gotta remember. You can't count on me to remind you about your karma, because I'll forget. But yeah, so we're gonna do that tomorrow. So the reason we're hanging out today, game tomorrow, kind of squeezing everything in the beginning of the week, is because my brother is going to be here April 1st. So I was like, well, let me get these 2 streams done before he shows up, that I can spend time with him. But I had already scheduled the interview with Rose for Friday, and I'm excited for that. I had a good chat with her. It was just supposed to be a few minutes and call and be like, hey, let's schedule a time. What are some topics you want to hit up? But we ended up chatting for a couple hours, so she had a lot to say. Hopefully she will bring some of that to the interview. And not be like, well, I told you all this already. It'd be some interesting stuff. And she is a full-time writer, like book writer. It sounds like she does some writing for other people as well. And I'm not sure. Well, I was gonna say I'm not sure where the ghostwriter name stops and starts, but yeah, I do. So she doesn't do ghostwriting. Pretty sure. I think she just writes for other companies for little things. But we didn't get into that too much. I was gonna save it for the call, for the interview. So, but she's trying to that is more so what's paying the bills. So she's trying to distance from that and get more from her writing instead of writing for other entities, which is understandable, right? You want to tell your own stories, or some people do. Some people like writing for other companies. So the key is to get 4 air purifiers and surround. Yeah, maybe. Just have one right in my face. One goes on the ceiling. Oh, I guess you could. I can't quite say I went down the rabbit hole, but I kind of peered inside of it when I was trying, because this room doesn't get airflow very good, or like during the summer it'll get super hot back here, because it's a fairly large room and there's just one vent and it's like way over there, so it doesn't disperse. So I was looking for a good fan, which you can kind of see back there where my finger is. It's one of those tower fans. I have a ceiling fan too, but when I was looking at that, I went to Reddit, like, all right, what's a good fan that won't die in a couple days? And man, there's some people that will cool their whole house with just a handful of like small fans, and they have all the diagrams to get optimal airflow. It's like, y'all are nuts. But they also had like setups for room to keep the air just, they're like, man, you can drop it 20 degrees with just a few Dollar Tree fans. It's like, okay, bud. How much of my hair am I going to pull out in the process trying to set it up? He was pretty modest and really expressed gratitude for the role in The Walking Dead and what has brought him in terms of role. Yeah, that's and I wonder if that will continue to be a thing. See, I've noticed that, Glenn, in the kind of the older voice actors who have been in the game for a while, because I remember, like, I didn't get to see the battle between actors and voice actors, but there's always been a little little bit of a snafu there. And but I remember when voice acting started making its way to video games, and that was so frowned upon. Like, that was not real work. Like, you just like, you should be embarrassed to take that line of work. Like, nobody wanted it, right? And now it's totally flipped, but like, that's what I was saying, the older people kind of remember that, and I wonder if another generation or two of that gratitude will be gone, because it'll all be considered good work, right? Old Grognard. Man, there's a name I haven't seen in a while. What's going on, bud? And Swords and Stone. We got 2 old Grognards in here now. They're gonna get me. I would recommend a desktop Squirrel cage fan. No, that's not a joke. Oh, well, we got a Squirrel cage fan. Is that just the round one? All right, I've got like 10 different things. Squirrel. All right, what are we looking at here? You're probably familiar with McMaster-Carr Wisp. Which one? Is it the one that looks like it goes in an engine? I guess they all kind of look like that, right? These aren't. These are just blowers. Is that what you're talking about? Squirrel cage fans. That looks like a hamster wheel. Oh, here we go. This must be. Is this what I need on my desk? I mean, it would probably work. Just the whole time. The ceiling fan should be set to pull air upward, not downward. Learned that. Yeah, I always have to check that every year, because yeah, you set it one way for winter and then the other way for summer. Some people use a fan, 5-gallon bucket, and frozen gallons of water. Man, I tell you what, for those of you who don't know, Glee has a crippling Chick-fil-A addiction, so we go to Chick-fil-A a lot, and when they're out there in the drive-thru on the hot summer days here, they'll get one of those fans that mounts to a 5-gallon bucket and kind of draws in that water and fans out. Those things are cold. They are chilly. Hopefully good work will be valued. Yeah, and that's the thing, like, actually, that might be something we get into. Good AAA video games are basically interactive movie nowadays, but maybe... Yeah, they were bad. Well, because they were getting, like, bottom of the barrel talent, because the good talent didn't want it. And I think that kind of helped, or worked against the stigma, too, like, because it was... Since nobody... The higher talent didn't want that work, it became a stepping stone for lower tier talent. So it just made it was kind of like fan fiction, Fan fiction is usually people's stepping stone, so therefore there is a lot of bad fan fiction, and then fan fiction gets a bad rap. So, but what was I gonna say? No matter the... Oh yeah, so... Oh man, nose is itchy. Yeah, the video game thing was considered lesser, right? So that has mostly been done away with. Like, nope, this is just another platform, right? This is another platform for telling stories. And what I said we might get into is, hey, maybe we'll go have a look at that article that says video games aren't stories. Though I will, we talked about that a while back. Some crazy article that says video games aren't stories. That guy actually went back on that. He backpedaled a bit on a later article, so I can't hate on it too much. Does she go through withdrawal on Sundays? Say, look, I'll admit, there's something about Sunday and Chick-fil-A. Like, that is, if I ever want Chick-fil-A, it's always on a Sunday. I don't know what it is, but I feel like that hits anybody who's, kind of likes Chick-fil-A. Sunday hits and they're like, I want some Chick-fil-A. I can't have it. There's just something in their brain knows they can't have it, and it reminds them, like, hey, you should go get Chick-fil-A. My only knowledge of Chick-fil-A is heavenly calling, consecrated ground for his people. Howdy from work. Allergy season. Oh man, it's. And what stinks is like, you know, sneezing and all that's a pain, but like my eyes get kind of heavy and puffy feeling. So it feels, my face feels like I'm sleepy and it's bedtime because, you know, my eyes are trying to close and then my brain gets confused. It's like, hey, let's go to bed. It's like, no, it's 9 o'clock in the morning. It's time to do things. Oh, and the Discord general. Let's see. The squirrel cage. Oh, that is nothing like what I thought it was. Oh, and that's tiny. Oh, for a moment there, I thought I was looking at the corner of a room. I was like, man, that's a big fan and a huge knob. But no, I see your cube wall on your calendar there now. Yeah. Okay. I like how it's the old wood look too. That's nice. Also, I'm getting a little flashbacks from your cube wall there, man. Might start twitching here in a minute. How much was bad direction from video games companies? Well, yeah. I mean, I can't think of her name, but there's a lady on YouTube who does voiceover. White lady, jet black hair, like 30s, 40s maybe. You might have seen her. I think she does a lot of shorts content, but I've seen a couple of her videos where she just kind of gets into the background of voice acting. And that was, she talked about that, like, why was the acting so bad back then? And part of it, you know, like I was saying, low talent, blah, 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 blah. But a lot of times, like you were saying, Spade, was the bad direction. Like, you would just get a spreadsheet of lines. And that was it. You'd say one line a couple different ways and just hope that was right. Like, you had no idea for context. Like, am I supposed to be angry? Am I supposed to be sad? Am I happy? So that's why you get some really just out there voice acting. It's just like, what were they doing when they recorded this? Always want what you can't have. Yeah. That's it. It's like, Sunday, I want Chick-fil-A. Yeah. And, you know, sometimes there's just bad directors, even when you have a lot of context. And then sometimes the money isn't good enough, and he's just like, all right, I'm just gonna phone it in. Man, I forgot. There was some old game, like PS1 era, I think. I cannot remember what game it was, and I can't even remember the voice actor. But they reached out to like a pretty famous actor to do the voice work for it. And they screwed up the contract. They gave that voice actor the entire voiceover budget. They told the guy working at the company, like, okay, here's the voice actor budget. We're gonna hire multiple, but we're gonna have the star voice actor. And they screwed up the contract and gave it all to him and didn't realize it till after he signed it. And they tried to go back, and they were like, hey, that was our entire budget. Can we not do that? And they're like, no, man, we signed it. You got to do it. So he is the only one voice acting in that whole game. Oh, man. Is that another bot? Follow Squirrel Plays. I mean, if you're telling everybody to follow me, I'll leave that up there. Let's see. So yeah, they spent the whole budget on that one guy, and then everything else was just text. It was so awkward. In Germany, it is normal that pretty much everything is closed on Sunday, so that is normal. And you know, that makes sense. That makes sense. I remember when I was little, a lot more used to be closed on Sunday. Now it's... I will say, it's still pretty common around here in the small town area for little mom and pop shops to be closed Sunday and Monday. Or Monday and Tuesday, and be open for like a little bit on Sunday. And if you see a restaurant around here and they're open just like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday for a few hours each day, you know it's good eating. Like that's good food because they don't have to be open that often. What in the world is that? That's a desk, or that's a fan I'm going to put on my desk per Whispering Wisp's suggestion. I went to go look it up. So yeah, we're just gonna put a big old fan, and I'm gonna have to hold on to my desk. But I'll stay cool. I will stay cool. Big fan of the Chick-fil-A. Good, and they basically run it like McDonald's used to when they began. That's right, and that's why it works so good. You've got 30 people back there all doing one thing, and you fly through the line. Yep. I know, every time we drive by or you see a Chick-fil-A, like it's wrapped around, but it's constantly moving. Yeah. I know, that's so funny to me. Like, people are like, how in the world is Chick-fil-A so fast? It's like, they're just doing what McDonald's did 50 years ago and stopped for some reason. It was an Amazon purchase. Sorry for the flashback. Voice acting in general used it. Yeah, and that's what I was saying earlier. Like, I didn't get to really witness that between actors and voice actors, but I definitely saw the friction when video games came out. Preferred the goofy bad version. Yeah, well, sometimes that's funny. Oblivion voice actors famously got all of their lines alphabetically with no... Oh, did they really? Dang. I know there's that one voice line with the lady where she says it, and then in the game you can hear this. So like you hear the line in the game, and then you hear her kind of back away from the mic and say, "Oh wait, let me try that again," and just says the line again. Although for Patrick Stewart, they gave him a dozen or more pages of backstory for Emperor Uriel Septim. He was the one guy that knew what was going on. My name is Prince Uriel Septim, and I had a dream. Wow. Sean Bean was in that game too, which I didn't know for the longest time. What are we up to? I mean, we're just hanging out, man. What are you doing? JS agent. Let's see. In Glenda voice, are you a good boy or a bad boy? 90s had a lot of dudes in the office doing their best. Yeah. Sometimes that works when the programmers are like, we can't afford a voice actor, so we'll just try it ourselves. I'm not 100%, but I'm like 99%. That's what Deep Rock Galactic did. It's just one guy recording the voice lines, and then they just do the pitch up and down based on the dwarf. But I think he just works there. Like, he's one of the programmers. And I know I am 100% on this one. The guy that does the voice for management, he's just the art director. And he nails it. It's like, golly, like he's just like, he sounds like the role he's voice acting, but also the acting itself is just phenomenal. So sometimes it works out, not always. You don't always get a Deep Rock, but hello account created a couple weeks ago. Oh man, you got some cool art stuff. Oh man, we got the art one in the chat. Dang. All right, well, there he goes. Oh, 13 messages were deleted by Marty. You already got it. Okay. Timed him out. Good job, Glee. Appreciate you. So art scams have made their way to not Discord. They've been on Discord forever. They've made their way to Twitch. They've probably been there for a while, too. You can show off the fan if you want. No compromising date. All right. So, Glee, this is a squirrel cage fan? Is that what we decided it was called? Just a little desk thing. Keep it cool. The double take line is glorious and still in the... They left it in? I was wondering if they did. Oh, that's great. It's classic. I didn't know they lied. Yeah, I was wondering if that was still going to be there in the remaster. That's good. There's no way you can convince me that some exec didn't think the way Thundercats talked was what children wanted. It's just so much conversation. Who knows, man? Well, like, and I was just talking, speaking of execs not knowing what they were doing, who was I was talking with? It was just a couple days ago. It was about how they used to make a toy line, and then they would make a show to sell the toy line. You know, I was like 90s and 80s, you know, Transformers, G.I. Joe, Beast Wars, Beast Machines, all that stuff. You know, here's a toy line, let's make a show to sell it. Kids got attached a lot of them anyway, to the story, the character, and that's why they wanted those figurines. They're like, that's Optimus Prime. I know who Optimus Prime is. That's Jazz. He's my favorite one. Or that's Bumblebee. Like, they knew about him, and they had all these backstories. Like, the executives did not understand that. And that's why when the Transformers movie, that 1986 one came out, kind of flopped so hard. Because they were like, well, let's kill off these old Transformers so we can bring in the new toy line. And the writers were like, don't do that. Please don't do that. Like, kids like Optimus Prime, the character, and they're like, nah, kill him off. And we all know how that went. So that's when they learned. And G.I. Joe was also supposed to do a super dark one like that too. I think a bunch of those toy companies were on board, and then Transformers did it first, and they were like, maybe we don't. Let's see. Joining like, how's it going, Squirrely Critters? Yay, it's the vending machine of the prehistoric era. That's what it's called down there. Well, I mean, I can't imagine it'd be too different somewhere else, but I say that. I was getting very different results. Yeah, let's see. Let me go back to the images here. I didn't get anything like that. I keep getting like the ones that curve like on that trailer there. Big blowers. More than meets the eye. That's right, Glenn. You know what's up. They're just timed out for 10 minutes. Well, that's long enough, I guess. That was a war crime. What they did to Optimus? It was pretty bad. It scarred some children, that's for sure. Meanwhile, my parents were like, ha! It was great. That's Hasbro for it? Yeah. Tone deaf. So, and I actually learned recently, apparently, one of the writers presented the idea of killing off characters, but it was minor characters. Like, hey, we can kill these off and that'll, you know, raise the stakes, blah, blah, blah story, but also give you room for a new toy line. And then the execs just took it too far and were like, yeah, kill Optimus Prime. And he was like, oh, no, not what I meant. Can you hold up one finger so I know you're not AI? Oh, here you go. One finger. You know I'm not AI. Robo-G's Optimus Prime. Yeah. He's great. He's a good example of a good leader. Hasbro never changed. So speaking of, you know, war never changes. I don't think you were in the stream yet, but I got to meet Ron Perlman over the weekend. Have a little chat with him at a convention. It was pretty neat. The war never changes man himself. Paint it blue and give it arms and legs and you got Airman. You know. You could. That's the same picture. That's not what I copied. You know, I really hate this thing. Silly AI features trying to do things. Can we? I guess that could be his gun coming out the side. Issue of changing cast in those shows is they wanted to ride coattails instead of inventing a new drive. That too, and that is still a problem to this day. Like, everybody is so scared to make something new. And I think we talked about this last Hangout stream. They're scared to make something new, but they still want to make something different while riding that previous IP, which just makes everybody mad, you know? What if we made the cartoons more horrifying than Don Bluth, but none of the build-up or story? A neurology game group is going to do a Chuck Norris tribute, Clever Cool Crazy RPG. Oh man, everybody's gonna chop mountains in half. Oh, there'll all be characters played by Chuck Norris. That's a pretty fun idea. 80s and 90s coke epidemic is clearly erratic vibe based choice. Man, there's a channel my brother watches it a lot. I think it's called Toy Galaxy. Despite the name, he digs into a lot of old TV shows, like because they were tied to toys. And he gets into the history of like how it was made, what happened, what was going on behind the scenes, and yeah, it gets wild sometimes. Buffy. Oh, the Buffy reboot got shut down? I never watched Buffy, but man, do I hear good things about it. They're supposed to be doing a Firefly reboot too. Or reboot, something. I think it's supposed to be animated. You hate when you hear let's take a children's property but make it a dark reboot. Nah, man. Yeah, the dark reboot thing. Like, I like what they did with Transformers 1986. As far as how dark it was, but that wasn't a reboot. That was just the time. Like, they had, I think they only had one season, maybe like 1.5 before that movie came out. They might have done 2 seasons before that movie came out. But that was good. Like Unicron munching planets and everything, and characters actually dying. I mean, the movie just needed to be longer, was the thing. It was so fast. And it was supposed to be a lot longer originally, but production time, I think they cut 6 months off of it. They were just like, there you go. But yeah, the gritty, dark reboots are very tiresome. Talking about not new but different, what the hell is the costuming of new Snape? I've been enjoying the memes of how they tried to be racially diverse, but have backed themselves into a very racist corner, apparently. I don't know the Harry Potter story, but now apparently since they race swapped him, it's going to make Harry Potter look very racist. So that could be funny. But his new costume did look a little weird too, now that I'm thinking about it. The live action reboot sucked it. The wizardry world sticks a lot to old-timey clothes while in the school. Yeah, I guess now, so I'm racking my brain for old images of the movies and whatnot, but yeah, feels like that checks out. A high-level session for Chuck Norris. Well, it's gotta be. Any new ttrpgs you're looking into playing? I'm reading Dragon Reactor and definitely want to play. Well, hey, if you want to run me a one-shot of whatever that is, sign me up. Transformers movie was trippy. It was so good, though. I know, you guys, I don't think you can see it from here. I've showed this off before. Oh, yeah, you can see it. So, that, oh, that's not the mouse. How do I... You can't see the mouse on the camera. So this thing right here, right there, I look like a TikToker pointing up at the thing. So that, I don't know how well you can see it. Let me make it bigger here. Glee doesn't think I like this, but I think it's super awesome. And she'll have to explain what it is. Yeah, so this thing right here, it's just bands of colors, right? I think the proper way to describe this is each band of color is the primary color in that frame. And that's the Transformers movie. And I can look at it and tell you exactly what, you know, maybe not exactly what frame, but I know what part of the movie they're in there. I think it's super cool. It's very colorful. So, let me bring this back down here. You did know my expression of the... That's true. That's true. The problem is that these reboot makers don't have the storytelling chops of the legend Don Bluth, who could make extremely dark but compelling stories. Yeah, I mean, like, I enjoy a dark story, but when it's just dark to be dark and loses the plot, kind of like when you become a gimmick for killing off characters. Like, it just loses its edge, right? I haven't touched anything RPG related since having Discord, or leaving Discord, sorry. I think to get back in would be a big idea, or To get back in, it'd be with a big idea. Well, what, you still got Words of Power, man. How's that going? Ah. I showed it off. Yeah, I saw it in Hordes and Halls. I saw it this morning. I've actually been pretty offline past couple days because of the con. Did Glee watch Glee? Did not. The Marauders, Harry's dad and friends, hang Snape upside down and said, I just hate the thought that he exists. Now that guy's... Yeah, that's going to be a little problematic. There's an art exercise. Guest character from the color bands. Ooh, that would be fun. Glee's showing me the concept of how a character's silhouette should be recognizable. That's some kind of design philosophy, or I don't want to say rule, but it's like if you can recognize just the silhouette, it's like a good character design or something. Signs of a good character design. But anyway, there was one I wanted to go back up to. Where was it? Yeah, Wisp, any new TTRPGs. So, that I'm looking into playing. Let's pull up the old list. Or a list. I have many, because that's just how I roll. I can't keep up with things. I still want to play Tiny D6. Or Tiny Dungeon, I think we found out what it was actually called. And I don't know if I want to play Conan 2D20. Because I don't know anything about the 2D20 system. Y'all will have to tell me if that's any good or if it's just Dungeons and Dragons with extra steps. But to play a Conan game would be kind of fun, I think. I don't know if I actually have something I am looking to get into. Let's see. That's a lie. I lied. Shadow Dark. I've been bugging Wes to run me a game of Shadow Dark. I want to play that. And then when I play Shadow Dark, I want to play, I think it's called Dark Space, which is Shadow Dark in space. I would like another. I have played Electrum Archive before, and it was super fun. I would like to play that again. I do have a game of Outgunned coming up in a couple weeks. I am super looking forward to that. I've been wanting to play that for a while. Dave's going to run that from Grimwood Games. See you later, Glenn. Get back to work. Who's that style Pokemon? Yeah, or style of design. Yeah. I think Harry's unfound suspicion of this one's professor based on his looks is the... Yeah, that's the memes I've been seeing. It's gonna be hilarious. It's the implication. You're working on a Dark Space one shot. Well, hey ho, looky there. I think we were supposed to play it some months ago. I can't remember if it was by the guy who made Dark Space or is a guy who has a published adventure for it. And it fell through. He had something come up. I heard Sword World has an English translation coming soon. Don't know anything else about it. I have heard that name many a times. It's funny, the Holy Doug. It is. It is very funny to see this happen. I've been playing an Adventurer Conqueror King 2. Do not know that one. Gritty and crunchy. Oh, I don't know about that crunchy. Very much you're in the mud with Conan. Oop. Those who make it will lead armies. Alright, so that keeps going up. Oh man, you followed. Are you going to sell me art too? Because that's the exact same thing the last guy said. I forgot where I was, guys. When you say new TTRPGs, what is a major factor? Ooh, that's a good question. What sparks your interest? But that's a question for Crab, not me, so I don't have to answer it. 1 through 5 says Skillums. What you doing, man? When did you sneak in here? The successes are the D. 2d20 is you combine two stats for a target number. You roll 2d20s trying to roll under the target number. Each die that does gives you a success, and you can buy up to 3. Okay. I can get behind that. Everyone wants Black Dumbledore. That's Black Potions Master. How are you doing? I'm alright. How are you? How are you? What's going on? Welcome aboard. Oh, yeah. So Conan would be a fun one to play. I have to give that one. I gotta find somebody to give it. See, I'm spoiled. I have spoiled myself in this YouTube journey. I no longer wish to learn a new ttrpg to run. I will learn it to play. But that's honestly part of it's spoiled. Most of it's because I remember when I was trying to learn ttrpgs to run when I first started the YouTube channel and absolutely butchered them. So I don't want to embarrass myself again. Oh, you play any games? I mean, some video games. I've been playing Soldier lately. But yeah, mostly ttrpgs around here. Mostly because I can't find a video game to hold my attention. It's not my fault, they all suck. So yeah, Shadow Dark Space, that's on the list. I need to play Tome of Light's game. I do not play Call of Duty. Technically, I own 2 of them. Somebody gifted them to me. And I'm like, okay. And they want to take up like 200 gigabytes of space. I'm like, nah. So I need to play Tome of Light's game. He's got 2 or 3 he's working on. One looked pretty fun. Or the one I looked at looked pretty fun. Technically, I have not played Wasted Worlds from EZD6. I should do that. I got to play his other 2 that aren't... Well, no, they're out yet. The horror ones. They are out yet. I believe instead of a remake, because Coors want to play it safe, they instead made a story in another wizarding school would be epic. There's a school in Africa, I believe. Yeah, if they want to be... That's the thing with the race swapping, like... In a few things, like this came up with The Little Mermaid, it's like they have mermaid lore that's a totally different approach to mermaids, and it's pretty awesome. Like, you could have just made a whole new mermaid story, like, but yeah, it's always about riding the coattails. It's like, ride the coattails, but I want to make something new, but corporate overlords say I gotta play it safe, and then like I said, that just makes everybody mad. Like, I'm sure some of the writers would love to have more creative freedom, too, instead of being forced to ride coattails. Only one I wouldn't accept would be the Weasleys. See, I don't know anything about Harry Potter. War game lore. Some of the fertile ground for storytelling. How would you approach writing for a war? So, like, I gotta clarify here something. Twice Dead is war. When you say war game lore, do you mean like war games in general, or is there a specific one called war game? Like Warhammer 40k is a war game, and that's the only one I know. Have you heard of the Chubby Funster Shadow Dark setting book? Like, I have not. That sounds very silly, which means it's probably fun. Walhalla Atomic Shadows. I don't know that one either. Engagement bait. I mean, yeah, like that's what I think it is. It's, and I've talked about that in videos before, like the negative marketing still free marketing, and it gets eyes on it. So in Brazil, you can find every race, every culture. Modern marketing tech. Yep. There it is. There's the art promotion. Get him out of here, Glee. Permaban. War games in general, but if you only want to, then go there. Okay, yeah. So let me scroll back up to the question then. Your opinion on war game lore, some of the fertile ground stories. How would you approach writing? Oh man, so if I had to write something for Warhammer 40k, I'd be terrified because there is so much lore in that one specifically, and the people who read those things typically know the lore, so I would just be terrified of getting it wrong. But that said, if I could get over the terrifiedness, I think it'd be cool because you have so much information to pull from. And if you have any questions, you could just hit up the wiki. And, you know, it's like, all right, has this ever been done? Has this been considered? What happens if I do this? Like, a lot of your questions will be answered. Thank you, Glee. So, yeah, like, when all that lore is there, even if it's silly sometimes, like, you have something to work with. And I think it's cool when something adheres to its already established lore. So when something comes up on screen, you're like, I know what that is. I know what's about to happen. I know what's going down. And, you know, a good story would reward those who know the lore and have been following along, but it would still be standalone for those who are just getting into it, right? So it wouldn't be like a major plot point hidden behind deep lore. It's just like something that's about to happen in the next few seconds, and the deep lore nerd would be getting super amped up. So yeah, as far as how would I approach writing for a war game? I mean, if you got a bunch of lore, you can look at some of the historical events, and you could work inside one of those historical events. Is like, good example would be the Godzilla -1 movie. It took the historical event of a kamikaze pilot and like looked at it the other way. It's like, oh, he chickened out. How does this affect him? And like, yeah, the movie was about Godzilla, but it was also about this one individual person in this huge event. And you could have had a whole movie about that guy and the effects of, you know, what he went through and everything. So you could go that route, or you could look at all the events and be like, okay, I'm going to squeeze a little one right here between these two that's kind of off on its own thing and it's not super impactful. That way people won't get mad, you know, because Elder Scrolls ran into this problem. I don't know if they fixed it or not, but when the MMO came out, Elder Scrolls Online, it was such a huge event in the world of Elder Scrolls. Like, world-shattering event, and because of where they put it in the timeline, it just kind of broke continuity in the regular Elder Scrolls games. It's like, does nobody remember this world-shattering event? You know, when what's his name? Malik Bal just kind of showed up and demons were running around. You know, it was basically Oblivion 2.0. It's like, does nobody... How come nobody mentions that? And we have mentions of all these other events. So yeah, they just made this huge event and squeezed it in the timeline in a place. It didn't work. I got some chat to catch up on. The goal is to get more minorities to lead roles, and it's just lazy, make new roles, and yeah, that's what we've been saying. Make new things. Yeah. Like the African mermaid lore. Like there was plenty of room for a whole new movie there. Could have been super cool. But exactly like you said, Skillum, they just lazy. Finding people is very hard. I guess y'all talking about ttrpgs. It is. Trying to build a kayaking fishing crew. Oh man. I have only been kayaking a couple times, and it was up in Wisconsin. But I loved it, man. It was so much fun. That little boat. So good. So much fun. Trench Crusade. Is that supposed to be Blackout? I guess they just abbreviated it. Conflict 47 or others because I'm bitter towards Games Workshop. Yeah, I know who Games Workshop is. Well, yeah, man, just go for it. Even more brutal. I gotta catch up on chat. For the last months, I've just been trying to learn art. Oh, Crab's gonna be an artiste. Always just write fanfic, pick 2 characters that exist in that world, and make them smash nasties. That's what a lot of people like to do. And that's why fanfiction gets a bad rap. Oh. Battletech is the only war game. That's right, it is a war game, isn't it? I am familiar with lore-wise, and I only know the general framework. That's right, I forget about old Battletech. So you go for less developed lore and 40k the ghoul stars the ranged in or evade contradict. Yeah, I mean, you don't want to contradict lore because people will find out. And you know, sometimes that's very hard to do. And as you dig into lore of some IPs, you will find out the lore contradicts itself because they made a mistake. It happens. If you're trying to write something in a pre-existing one, I'm all for making new characters. I don't like taking pre-established characters and sending them on an adventure. Now, you can take pre-existing characters and have cameos, or they can have a part in the story, but not make them the main character. Like, make your own character so you could send them on their own journey. You know, you can have your story that you want to tell, and this character you want to put through the ringer, and then you can just drop him in that world with all those other characters. But don't do the self-insert thing. But I think you know that. Oblivion Alpha. Yeah, that's instead of 2.0. That's a good point. But I think I'm trying to remember time-wise if it took place before or after the Oblivion Gates. And then they had an update later that was more Oblivion Gates. So it's like, okay, you know, what are we doing? Does building a world that allows for creators to create semi-open-endedly... Does building a world that allows for creators to create semi-open-endedly sounds good or bad? Because I feel like Star Wars was goated, but not sure. Yeah, so... If I'm understanding here... That was the cool thing I always thought about Star Wars, was that it was this just ridiculously ginormous universe that Lucas made, and there was so many opportunities for more stories, which a lot of people did before Disney bought it. Like, there were so many books that followed brand new characters or expanded on characters that already existed or had them repeatedly in there. Just like, you know, follow the life of a smuggler or something like that. There was just this whole galaxy. You could have had a whole adventure on Nar Shaddaa. Now, does anybody in this chat know what city that is that I've said it? Because it's never in the movies, I don't think. And it was in multiple games. So I think that's cool. But let's say a lot of people wrote a lot of stories and made a lot of money in the Star Wars universe. And that's kind of what people like to point to when somebody says fan fiction is bad. They're like, oh, well, what about all these people that wrote Star Wars? It's like, I don't think you're fan fiction at that point. You know, you're coming up with your own characters, your own story, your own plot, and it just happens to be in this ginormous universe that already did a lot of groundwork for you. So, now, is it a good idea or a bad idea to make a universe that big? I mean, how crazy do you want to make yourself, right? I mean, it's a lot to keep up with. But if you want to make it and share it and have other people make stuff, yeah, go for it. Technically, I'm making a huge universe. I am not stoked for other people to make their own stories in this universe, but mostly because it's not because I don't want them to trample on what I made. I would rather them go make their own world and their own characters because I think it would be better for them as writers. So, now, Like if people want to make tabletop adventures in that world, that's super cool. Oh yeah, you're just playing a game. But I don't know what I would do if Kesho Knight Legends got big and somebody was like, "Hey, I want to write a novel in your universe." I'd be super flattered and like, oh man, you know, it would be a big moment. But I feel like part of me would want to work with that author and be like, "Hey, let's do it in your own world. Let's make your own world. Like, you have a story to tell. Let's tell it. You know, let's, you know, stand on your own." Elder Scrolls Online is officially another... Is it? Is that what the route they decided to go? That's lazy. Kayak fishing seems so appealing. So I didn't do kayak fishing. I was just boating. I only fell in once, but just riding on the water. Bow fishing seems fun, but everyone I mentioned to can't stop laughing. Yeah, I mean, if I were to get into fishing, that is how I would fish. Just because I don't believe that fish can't feel that hook on their mouth, and it's like, man, that's gotta be horrible. So, whereas you can just, you know, insta kill them. That seems like a good way to go. If you got a spot nearby, I recommend it. Oh, that's somewhere else. You need a better kayak. I have a set in that's too small. That's not gonna work. 40K's lore is a mess. Anything about the unification wars all night? Yeah, there's just so much of it too. Like you hit a certain size and it's like, okay, something has to not work here. Oh, he was a little too heavy for his kayak. Cthulhu Mythos and Star Wars Legends. Ooh, there you go. What is the SCP universe? I should know what that is. I am super backed up on chat. Yeah, for the opening, what is SCP? I feel like I'm gonna feel so stupid when you say that, whatever it is. That was the fun of the D6 Star Wars. That's right. Old Grognard is a big, old school Star Wars D6 TTRPG game fan. That was the sentence. You can make up whole sections and still have it work. Say the inhibitor chip of the clones is a bunch of bullcrap. Yeah. That one's kind of silly. There were so many canon books for Star Wars that became not canon when Disney took it. Yeah. Like... Yeah. When I was younger, when I was a kid, there was a young adult teenage series or whatever that followed Han and Leia's kids. And they were part of the universe, like they were official lore. And I thought that's what Disney was going to do with Kylo Ren, and I thought they just changed his name, and I was like, oh, there's no twin sister. I think the twin sister... I think the son ends up going dark side, and the twin sister like gets to be even more powerful than Luke. Like, she gets super strong. But anyway, it followed those two, some random Wookiee, and then this redheaded gal named Tenel Ka. And that's when old Scrat learned about redheads. Killed a bunch of Grace. Yeah, there was the X. I heard the X-Wing series was really good. I never read it. My brother read that one. The YouTube automata is impressive. Oh, but haha, I'm here too. Frome.co is the company that does the movie frames into art. Yes, it's very cool. Published third-party rhythms. Yeah. Yeah, boy, man, I am so behind on chat. I see it coming in. I got a speed read. I never consider the industry or dollars behind something a mark of success. Most purchases are sight unseen and trends. Yeah, that's true. Like that is something people like to say too. Like, oh, well, it made this much money, so you know, it must be doing something right. It's like, well, making money's the goal, yeah. For a TTRPG setting, lots of gaps are great for the players. Yes! And we have talked about that before, like, and it actually might be my next video. I don't know. somebody made an interesting comment and something I like talking about. It's when to be vague and when not to be vague. You know, how being vague can add something. And then sometimes it can just be annoying. So yeah, I think a good TTRPG setting book leaves a lot of room. Whereas see, D&D has kept making so much new content, that room has shrunk. So you have less and less wiggle. I mean, technically you can always do whatever you want, right? But if you want to be accurate to the lore, you have less and less room. Whereas, and we've experienced that with the Moss and Stone development. It's like, okay, it's like, yeah, I will try and define these things behind the scenes, but that is not going to make it into the book. I'm going to intentionally leave certain things vague because I don't want to cause those arguments at the table. Like, well, prove the lore, blah, 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 blah. It's like, no, it doesn't say. So, I mean, people are still going to argue, but try and cut it down where I can. Clones had a synth component. Oh dear. It's stupid when the scale is comic, but you never see more than a few cities of a content. Yeah, instead of filling, they just... So that's the one thing I've never understood about Star Wars or sci-fi in general, is like you have all these planets, but everything takes place in a small neighborhood, basically. This is like... And I was telling somebody, I was like, imagine trying to track somebody down, and they said, I'm in Walmart. That is all you have to go on. Like, imagine how hard that would be to find somebody. All you know is they're in a Walmart. You don't know what country, you don't know what state, you don't know which one, which city. And then just try to find somebody. They just say, hey, I'm at this Walmart, and you go try and find them with no other clues. It's like, it's hard to find somebody. That's like when you have a galaxy of planets, you know, so you multiply that by a bazillion, and people can just, they know right where to go. Like, really? You know, the whole planet of Tatooine has one city. Dragon Ball Super. Tabletop wargaming, I've been playing one-page rules with a local group we've built up using an open-ended take on the 40k setting. Ooh. SCP is a giant universe of recording otherworldly creature legends. Okay. I guess I don't know what it is. SCP is to Lovecraft as Star Wars Legends is to... Oh. Twin sister? Well, they weren't identical, but yeah, Han and Leia had twin, well, I guess they wouldn't be identical if one was a boy and one was a girl, right? And then how it works. They had a son and a daughter, but they were twins. That was the OG. I forgot what her name was. Thousands of entries in the wiki. Oh, well, I'll have to go look at that. Yeah, I have no idea what SCP is now, looking at this. I thought it sounded familiar, but... Gaps and Mysteries used to be 40k? Oh, so they haven't always been super lore heavy and explained everything? Old Grognard, I am writing a script for a video on how scrolls... Hey, I just saw your community post this morning on that. And 2nd edition AD&D, and the concept of cognito hazards from SCP works really well for explaining how cursed scrolls work. Well, hey. Warhammer Fantasy did the everything is canon, not everything is true 1,000 times better than 40k ever could. Gotta make lunch, don't join any Call of Duty games or buy AI art. Well, I'll try. Tatooine has at least 2. It has lots of cities. Yeah, but they only use one all the time. Like, that's just Disney being lazy, though, because they're like, oh, people will recognize this city. But, like, And the sci-fi stories too, like you go to this planet for that planet for this planet for that, this planet for this, and it's like all of that could have took place on a portion of one planet. Like planets are big. Mos Espa and Mos Eisley at least, and Jabba's palace, but those are all like together. We have 2 words for twins in Spanish. Different gender, mellizos, exactly the same as I'm butchering that pronunciation, I'm sure. Sure, I never bothered to look any deeper. Recipe nerds making insight. Yeah, insight references are hard sometimes. So golly, I had a thought. What was it? I thought it was something about being vague, but I lost it. Shoot. Is come. Unnecessarily exotic is what I think of when hearing that planet hopping. Yeah. Like, it's cool that you got all these planets, but... And then they make the planets basically video game biomes. Like, alright, this is the desert area, this is the ice area, this is, you know, this works in video games, but... And I get, you know, like a whole planet can be one thing, but it's just, it's boring. And that's the other thing too, like, if you're at the point where you can go to other planets and establish, you have the technology to start off right, why would you pick such a crummy planet to live on? Like, why does anybody live on Tatooine? Why did anybody go there? They should have looked at that and said, damn, that place sucks. It's hot and sandy. Next. Whoop, go to the next planet. 40K left a lot open for you to write your own stuff. The seeing was always sometime, never the present. As opposed to be the setting. Yeah. The setting was always sometime, never the present, so things could fill out instead of forward. Yeah. Tatooine is loaded with cities, but they only focus on the ones that apply to the story. Well, yeah, so then that's what I was saying earlier. Like, there's so much that can happen on a single planet. Anchorhead. Hey, I recognize that name. There's another one on Tatooine. Skill issue. Anything can be super interesting if you're good. That's true. That's true. Disney leans very heavily on nostalgia. The missing legions were your legion. Oh. In Legends, it used to be a jungle planet, and it got wrecked. The Jawas. Sand people were natives. Whoa. Unless Tatooine went the Dark Sun route and the environment changed drastically, that would be a good reason. In regards to homesteading, consider outlaws and even the Amish. Maybe you want a simple life, or maybe you're hiding. That true? That too. Leans very on those license agreements. Yeah, that too. Whatever in the D6 game back in the day, I explained Tatooine as a terraformed world, but the machinery must broke down a long time ago. Hey, that's a cool way. Not beating the allergies? No, my nose is... It's itching. Look like a crackhead over here. You got more of that crack? The machinery must have broken down a long time. I like that idea. And then I get the idea once you're there how some people can't leave. Like, you know, there's a lot I would like to leave and I can't leave, so I'm stuck here. For now. But like, I get that. I am losing to the allergies, Duck. All the good planets are taken. And see, now I will say, I will give this to Starfield, the video game. They had a great setup for why planets are so barren and there's just like a little settlement here. It's because they were just starting to get out into the stars and people were kind of racing to get their own planets and get established, you know, like there's even one quest line like where somebody is trying to own a planet, like somebody sold them the planet or something and they found out they sold it to somebody else too and just assumed they would never cross paths. So that makes sense. Now, what didn't make sense is why all the planets looked exactly the same and all the structures were exactly the same, but why there are so many desert planets? Yeah, no more terraform. Not the 2-hour Pokemon rant. We went on that 2-hour sci-fi rant. I mean, hey, it's a big galaxy. Can't have shit on Tatooine. That's right. Oh, man. I will say, we were talking about, does it make sense for Han Solo not to believe in Jedi even though they were in the news? Yeah, that was just insane. Star Wars is tired of Hammond planets. No colonies. Yeah. Yeah. So I was gonna say, going back to the vague, when it's nice, I will poke at Dark Souls. I think that one is too vague as far as the lore. Like, you gotta do a little too much digging to make that one make. I guess, I don't know if you call that vague or just poorly delivered. Because vague, you leave it out. Technically, it's there in Dark Souls. You just really gotta dig. You don't believe in all kinds of things that were in the news 20 years ago. Here's the thing about Han Solo not believing in the Force, an example to show how rare Force users are. Yeah, see, that's... I mean, I was thinking of the Disney movie. Where he could just kind of seem to forget everything that happened in his own lifetime that he witnessed. But the red string wall. I think it's a different type of storytelling. There are people that really love having... Well, yeah, and that's why I was saying, Blaze. It's like, I guess that's not vague. It's just... I would consider poor delivery. But that's a whole other argument. So Sauron starts with the ring, then gets defeated, but now if he gets it again, he'll be unstoppable? What about before? Who knows? Who knows? Depends on the contract. Why so many desert planets? Dune. Dune is to sci-fi what Lord of the Rings is to fantasy. Why so many pagan plus Christian cosmology? Is it Dune's fault that we have desert planets? I mean, don't get me wrong, like, I think pyramids and deserty things are like super cool in the real world. Like, I don't feel like Egyptian stuff gets used near enough, but so it's not to say desert isn't any fun, but yeah, so many deserty planets are get kind of boring after a while. Had standard template constructs for building vehicles. Also, it explains partially how the Imperium manages to be so monolithic and fractured at the same time. Tens of thousands of Force users in a galaxy of who knows how many trillions, quadrillions. Yeah. That's the thing, like... It's weird in sci-fi movies, particularly Star Wars. Like, you have all these planets bazillion miles apart and everything, and, like, people still know each other. Like, they just randomly bump into each other. It's like, wait a minute, you're bazillion light years that way, but you have to piece it together. Always ends up with nerds making leaps I'm not willing to make it. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Pyramids are just the easiest way to stack rocks. Yeah, but they look cool. Come on, man. I always dreamed of a prequel to Dune focusing on Duncan, Idaho. Oh, man. And you've never even seen Dune. Stargate, that's right. Such a wild show. It used the Egyptians, though. Well, it used, like, a lot of... It started with the Egyptians, and then they started dipping into other mythology, too. Like, there were some Norse ones, I think. Well, that's right. Yeah, all of the Goa'ulds were all the different gods of different ones. You know, there's Zeus and Odin and everybody else, right? Which was a super cool thing to do. It's like, this is where all these weird religions came from. So. Y'all losing me on this Lord of the Ring chat. Duncan, Idaho is a 10 out of 10 name. It's pretty solid. Stargate would be great for TTRPG setting. So, like, they tried, some of you might know this or remember this, they were going to make a Stargate MMO, and like that was the perfect setup for a game like that. All right, you just have this gate and go into random worlds. Like that was the perfect excuse for procedural generation, except it was before all that became a thing or was popular. It's like, I just go to random freaking planets, you know? There's your Stargate to everything, like it, and it never made it. I remember signing up for the beta. And they got canned before it got that far, I think. Yeah, you know, used to you had to sign up for a beta and hope you get picked. You had to tell them why they should give you a beta access key. Now you can just pay to play early. Like, so silly. Futurama saying the aliens learned from the Egyptians and not the other way around and stuff. Someone did a 5.8 Stargate book. I don't doubt it. Let me tell you about Dot Hacksign and how we've been robbed. Man, I never made it through the first game, but I thought it was one of the coolest things in the world. Like, it was, again, cool setup for random worlds and stuff, and it was a story inside of a story. It was pretty cool. We learned a lot from Egyptians, such as pyramid building and space travel. Could run Stargate with D6 base. It's not a joke, Wisp. It is unfortunate it's 5e. Stargate MMO would have been great. Don't really have the time for that. Well, yeah, me neither, but I was a kid back then and had all the time. But that concept, that's a very good structure for a video game. It's like, oh, here, we can just throw random levels and worlds at you, and we have the perfect excuse. Just... Agree with old Grognard. His videos are great all around. Yeah, man. I like that old guy. He's all right. Did you ever watch the show, though? Stargate? Yeah, man. Look into Dark Space Stargate. Ooh. Let's see. I like Stargate and Stargate Atlantis. Those were good. The actors in Atlantis were way better. Some of them. What was I gonna do? DriveThru. Convenient instant portals like Gil's. Yeah! Yeah. You know what's up. SG-1 was a fantastic show about a mediocre movie. Yep. Doctor Who did the alien ancient Egyptian thing back in the 70s with the pyramids of Mars. Ooh, Glee knows all about Doctor Who. You're gonna summon her. World War I campaign versus aliens in a war game. I mean, that'd be pretty fun. I was hoping to find something here, but I'm not finding it. Oh well. Doctor Who is such a good show. That's what I'm told consistently. Maybe one day I'll sit down and watch it. She's got the list of which ones I'm supposed to watch and not watch. Uh-oh. Okay, we got, that's confirmed. I remember growing up in the 80s and 90s without cable. Being the only kid that knew that Doctor Who was before the review. See you later, Crab. Oh, and there goes the vending machine, too. For the money-making factory. Oh, I need one of those. Stopped after the 12th and first got together. It felt like a good finale for me. I forget where Glee says I'm supposed to stop watching and start. Also, I will be right back. Y'all hang tight. Don't go nowhere. I made it back. Usually I can get through the stream without having to go to the bathroom. I didn't make it today. Oh yeah, I'm catching up here. Had a fun, weird WW2 theory. Everything bizarre that happened is because time travelers always go to WW2 to interfere or counter-interfere. Yeah, you know, I've been interested in the weird World War stuff since Twice Did brought it up when we were doing that Mega Man Mavericks to ttrpg encounters thing. Now I want to play in one. The bad mustache man's mom must be pretty adept fighting time travelers. Need to get me some watch orders so I can link my merch to my channel. Oh, do you have to have a certain amount of hours to do that? To sell products or whatever? Well, you can just put a link in your description, can't you? I haven't looked into the merch thing. I need to. A chair with a choir makes it look like a solid, really. A really cool concept would be that certain points in time are locked. You can time travel, but if you change things, oh. Ooh. 3,000 watch hours? A year, I'm assuming. Well, does that just basically give you like a little YouTube store? Let's see. Also, somebody confirmed the time for an interview. This is coming up on, I think it's next Monday. Yes, so 1 week from today, about this time, we're going to be talking to an artist, and she is trying to start up some kind of, I'm not too sure, some kind of website, tool, platform, or something to help connect a person that needs an artist with the right artist. She's trying to dig into why people are having trouble as far as hiring artists. You know, some of that's scams and stuff too. So I don't know what she's going to do about that. But trying to find one that's the right vibe, right fit for what you're looking for. And of course, price range. But so we're going to be talking about that and just, you know, the artist in general, what she's got going on. It's the one doing the work for Mass Paws that also made my my barbarian squirrel. So that'll be a fun chat. She's a nice lady. 100% organic human-made content focusing on the old school D&D goodness. Yeah. You can connect your shop organically as a banner versus just doing links. Oh, does YouTube like 100% organic human-generated slop? Hopefully YouTube doesn't like take a cut of that if you do that. I know they like to take what they can. Public domain aliens. Are there even 3,000 hours in a year? For sure. I would think. Maybe I'm tripping. That's a good question. Let's do the math. Let's see. There's 8,000 in a year. 8,760 exactly according to Glee. So yeah, 3,000 a year sounds... Well, that's a lot. So maybe it's just total. They do D6 Star Wars, may, but mostly do 80 and 82 second edition since that's what folks want. Yeah. I actually have 2 artists coming up that I got to interview. One's the one I just mentioned, and then the one's the one doing all the work for Blaze. And then Rose. But that's a different artwork. That is the written word. Glee on the quick draw. She just happened to have that fun fact in her head. You heard your name? Yeah, saying we gotta interview your artist friend, lady, doing all the work for World Shapers. That's coming up. Well, I say that's coming up. It's got a while. The 14th of April. You got a couple weeks. Just need to stream 2/5 of the year. The Martians were the War of the Worlds, the Martians from Barzu, the Speculated Life in Venus. We thought it was a jungle world, the Moon Men from Wales, the Black-Eyed Kids, the Greys, and others. Sending out job apps on the side and therefore only partly. Well, you know, that is significantly more important than my stream. Gotta do that. Start working more on my game and running excessive libraries of games. Yeah, man. You had the Nor mech one, right? Matter of fact, I kind of meant to look into that on the stream. I feel bad because I have this Acorn sharing thing set up for people to post their games and stuff, and I feel like I'm supposed to keep up with these, and since it's in my server, but I know I don't have to. But like this one's, I saw this one, Lightning Cat. They're still in the server, and they made a homebrew Transformers game. They posted this over 30 days ago. And it's way more complicated than I can handle, but like, you know, I should show interest and be like, oh man, but I don't know what to do. And then they get backed up. We got Memorial Tales TTRPG from After Ash, One-Shotters from Tome of Light, Metal Music Mayhem from, I have played that one. Dark Mecha RPG from The Wisp. Yeah. And then the other one from Demon Gem. Yeah, man, I'm dropping the ball here. I'm not being a good host. Still fun to chill on the side, and it's important to chill on the side too. What's DriveThruRPG got going on? There's Outgunned. That's what we'll be playing. What is the deal of the day for $6? Eldritch Defenders. Hidden beneath the surface, there's another layer to the world. Supernatural creatures. Oh boy. The Eldritch Defenders program is a public defense office that runs alongside the mundane law offices throughout the country. You play those lawyers, paralegals, occultists, and other staff members that seek to do whatever they can to protect the populace from supernatural oaths and otherworldly laws, despite the difficulties of conflicting legal precedents, short staffing, and lack of funding. Well, that's interesting. But like, how does the game play? A unique resolution mechanic, the adversarial system, which relies on withstanding external hardships more than testing your own capability directly. I don't know about this one, Chief. Hey, wait. I know this guy. He just commented on my channel recently. He's got the Piachu. I assume it's the same guy. Well, let's see what he did here. What is a role-playing game? I think we know what that is. Not terribly developed yet. I need to slap together an actual white paper and run a game of it. Yeah. Just do a polka like Weird Al and rapid for everything you think is needed. Oh no. I'd just brain freeze if I tried to do that. Rapid fire. There is no rapid fire in my brain. Did you check out Jaws of the Six Serpents? I did not. Scheduled break from writing my thesis. Nice vibes all around. Hey, I'm useful. I'm keeping people from doing their thesis. Rare scrap memory win. Do we have a scrap memory? What is a rope-playing game? The premise. Well, we know the premise. What do you need to play? Dice. The table needs 5 or more D6s. Okay, I'm on board now. Each player and the partner should have set their own... The basic mechanical system of Elder Defenders is the adversarial system. Involving these dice rolls from the position... More can be found on Chapter 2. I bet you we don't have a Chapter 2. We don't. This is the end of the document. Well... Every player and partner will need paper and pencil, or alternatively a laptop. Well, hey, D6 games, I like those. You guys want to be a lawyer? Let's do it. Could be fun. $6. Think we can swing that. Later, Grognard. Would that make me the antithesis? Be a cool channel name. Need to find royalty-free jazz music for chase scenes. So look, man. Let me find it. I've been super happy with this site. I got a bookmark somewhere. Video tools. Royalty-free music. Yeah, it's free. Well, here, I'll just... It's also where my new outro music came for this year, so you can go watch any video and get a link. But if you want to be lazy, there you go. I've been happy with their stuff. Like, there's some pretty good, high-quality stuff. I like how you can filter it down. It's real nice. Do not use music off of Pixabay. It's supposed to be royalty free. It's supposed to be, you know, safe to use, but there's some there's a lot of bad actors in there, and what they'll do is they'll post it on Pixabay and then you use it, and then they'll get flagged. They'll have it set up to like it's not free to use, or I don't know how they're doing it, but what they do is they'll hit you on YouTube and be like, oh no, this is my music. You have to share ad revenue with me. And they hope so many people will just ignore that, as in click OK, and then they'll just get free ad revenue. If you fight it, you know, and it's not a copyright strike, which is much more intense. It's just a claim. So you can just say, you know, if you want to take the time to fill out the thing, say, nope, this is free to use. You posted it here. Here's the link, blah, 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 blah. And then they don't get anything. So they're just hoping lazy people won't do anything and they'll get some free money, or people will get scared and send them their free money. So do not use Pixabay for music. Have not had any troubles with this one. Free stock music. When Scrat successfully remembers a thing. No, we don't do that here. We don't do that. That's all I'm doing, Scrat. I need a break. I don't want to read about blood and point of care testing tech anymore. Understandable. We do not fly the Jolly robbing you blind. Well, that's interesting, though, that this was by the guy who just showed up on YouTube recently. I'm trying to think of what he commented on, but I recognize that Piachu, or however you say that. Maybe it was just the same name. I don't know. What else is going on? Daggerheart. Oh, man. Or Daggerheart compatible. Oh, boy. Just what we need. Best selling time. Do they have, like... Oh, apparently I own this one. Oh, it scrolled all the way over there. I own Cyberpunk. Red. I didn't know that. Yeah, look at there. Apparently I own it. Today I learned. I must have got it on a sale. Hey, sometimes you can catch a PDF for $1 on here, man. That's pretty great. They only have like one sale a day, though, don't they? They don't have like a whole bunch of things on sale. Here's newest titles. Incident reports. White Dragon Awakens. Bullets and Bootleggers. That's a cool name. Oh, there's a bundle. Solo RPG Final Chance. Alright, well, let's open that. And then let's also look at Bullets and Bootleggers because that's such a cool name. A sandbox engineering manual for criminal campaigns. Oh, I don't know about that. The city is alive. A universal crime action engine to resolve any job, heist, bootlegging, bribery, intimidation, and more. You don't like Daggerheart because it feels built by committee. Well, I got news for you, Twice Dead. That's probably because it was. I try not to hate on it too much because I haven't actually played it. And there's a lot of people that said, yeah, it didn't look very good at first, but then when I played it, I liked it. I say a lot of people. Some people have said that. But more people have said, yes, it's just D&D with extra steps. And I was like, that was the vibe I got. Like, when I was reading, I have it. I was reading through it. I was like, this just seems like this other game, but with additional steps. And it still seems like it would be very slow. And I think we talked about this before. Like, it couldn't decide what it wanted to be. It couldn't decide if it wanted to be semi-crunchy or narrative-driven. And it, like, tried to do both. Been playing in Cyberpunk Red, lots of fun. Big fan of the skills and dice resolution system. I have played in Cyberpunk settings, but I haven't played a Cyberpunk specific system. I feel like I don't touch the sci-fi side of the hobby all that much besides Traveler. It's kind of same, honestly. Minus the Traveler bit. They built it to be their D&D and they didn't use it for the show. That's the funny part. Also, what do you mean by it feels like built by community? So, I mean, Twice Did can answer that for you, but for me, it's like, you could say it lacks an identity. Not so much conflicting opinions, or lore like we were talking about earlier, but it's like a lack of vision. It was like, okay, what did everybody vote on that was cool? It's not what one person wanted to make. If World Shapers was made by a committee, it would look very different. But see, you made it. You had a vision. You knew what you wanted. Twice Did. Without a defined vision, a narrative-first game where the most narrative thing you can do is spend a point for bonuses, an initiative system that is just hurting a table. Yeah. As I was saying, it couldn't decide what it wanted to be. Lots of compromise and no elegant, unified decision. Yep. Got the choir going again. GM-focused advice for keeping play fast, tense, consequence-driven. That's what we're going to do tomorrow. Optional guidance for introducing rare and dangerous supernatural elements. Well, what's a preview of this look like? How it plays. The crime action engine. Throw 'em in. Target number 14. Using this book. What makes this different? Here we go. Bullets and bootleggers let you build an empire. Whoa. Oh, I can't grab the text. Oh no. This is not a dungeon. There are no rooms to clear and no treasure chests waiting at the end of the corridor. The treasure is already out there on the docks, in the warehouses, in the back rooms, blah, 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 blah. City books. Oh, using this book. City books provide the world. This book provides the machinery. Bullets and bootleggers campaigns are built on tension. Yada, 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 yada. The criminal players rarely stay inside structure for long. Alright, well, I don't know. It was made by a bunch of folks all trying to have equal say in the resulting products. Incohesive mismatch of ideas. Yes. Somebody's got to take the lead. And not to pick on Star Wars. Greatest opening ever. But the one show, The Acolyte, that is what happened to it. I mean, among other things. But like, the lady who made it very proudly stated that she did not want to be the final say-so on so many things. She wanted all the actors and people to have a say-so in this thing. She wanted a committee to make this, and it was a mess. Like, there was no consistency across episodes, so she did not want to be the boss. It's like, somebody's got to be. The D10 plus skill plus status, nice. I feel like a good skill system where you can be lucky, skilled, or talented without diminishing the other two potential ways of succeeding. Blaze highly disliked the initiative system from a Bagger Heart. It seemed clunky. Designers often have to fight against design by committee if a client has too many stakeholders or wants to be too micromanagery about ridiculous things. Yeah! Yeah, cool acronym like GURPS. I hate that YouTube put such a small character limit and had to write 2 comments. It'd be like that sometimes. Glee has a better way of words than me. Because she hates it so much. It's a problem. Like, I get the idea. It's like, oh, you want to do these things together, but like, somebody's got to be the jerk sometimes, you know? Or just be the final say-so. Don't have to be a jerk, but you know, sometimes you got to do things you don't like to do. Final Chance Bundle. Comes with Ready to Improvise, a solo player and GM toolkit. Scene 2.0, play solo RPG in any setting. Solo Franken game, now we're talking. Are you tired of solo RPGs that feel 90% perfect except for that stubborn 10% that doesn't fit you? Franken Game RPG is a creative blueprint for breaking the mold. Not a fixed system, but a way to reclaim your creative agency and shape your solo play to suit you perfectly. I'm interested. A historical solo journaling RPG. There you go, Glee. Hang out with the Romans. You dislike the acronym for World Shapers? W is so clunky to say in English. It's smoother in German. W. W. You don't have to be a jerk. Sometimes it's just a bonus. You hired me because I'm the expert. Do not undermine my choices. Bruh. See, in America, you get to be the expert, and they hire you, and then you don't get to do the thing they hired you for. They give it to somebody else. I don't know if that works that way in the other parts of the world, but that sure seems to happen a lot here. With me and people I know. It's like, you hired me because I'm the expert in this, but you won't let me do it. And then you give it to the new guy. An artist should have an idea of where the story is going to go. The community is for sanity and lore checking. Yeah, that's when it's good to have one. That's when you just have multiple eyes on it. Oops. Go back. Most popular, under $5. Ooh. I thought I finally bought... Oh, wait, that's the old one. A companion to the... Okay, never mind. This guy made some, like, no prep GM thing, and I was trying to read it. I forgot why I stopped. Probably got distracted. There it is, the no prep game master. I need to finish it, and then I can give an opinion on it. What is this? 100 laws for Fantasy City. Oh, man. One ring. That's not new. Oh, most popular. I thought I was still on new. I'm not an expert yet, but while practicing, some random patient just spends their time contradicting the medical personnel. I may not be a doctor, but I know how to do your job, which is being a doctor. Brightborn. Is that like a Soulsborne thing or whatever? Awesome. Trippy artwork. The gameplay loop. Encounter deck. Once your character sheets are filled out, you need to create the encounter deck. The deck determines the event. Ooh, kicking stuff. Determines the events you'll face during your hunt. Maybe. Could be interesting. We will leave that one up, duplicate the tab, and then we'll go back. Have you seen A Gorilla's Guide to Magic? I have not. Sounds intense. Stop moving like a worm on a pin. What'd you say it was? Gorilla's Guide to Magic. Well, it's not here. Yeah, that art was pretty cool, right? Like, kind of spooky. Ah! I'm trying to figure out what's going on here, though. Like, a hand. There's a hand. I don't know what's going on. It's trippy. What happened to the new? I was looking at that at one point, and then newest titles. Here we go. Eagle Folk. It's got Roll20 out. 5e Monster Pack. Boo! Nobody wants that. Gen Con 2025 Foe Adventures. Kaiju Clash. That looks... I will hold my tongue until I check. Ah, yeah, there it is. I was gonna say. It looked like it. AI stuff going on there. Cover sure looks like AI art. Ah. Oh, everybody's fussing. He's getting blasted. Opinion on One Ring 2E, like the game? I haven't played it. I have not played it. Personalized suggestions. Well, these are probably nonsense because I buy bundles and activate them on DriveThru. Whooshu! Cats, the tabletop roleplay. But not a game, it's just the tabletop roleplay. Cats. Man, I'm kind of surprised. I don't have anything more on my list here. I just got to get Wes to run Shadow Dark, and there was something else too he was gonna run. He owes me 2 games. Gorilla of Destiny Spell Writing Guide. Gorilla of Destiny. Let's just put that in there. Ayo! Spell Writing Guide. Wow. Spell Writing Guide is an in-depth exploration and explanation of an algorithmic way to write spells in a magic system. Let's say a dictionary containing I think they got a bit of a typo there. Some of 5e's Creative Commons spells. Boo, 5e. What's the point of this book? Look for core rules. I gotta learn a whole new system. So many folks in the Photoshop come in with, how do I fix this AI image? And the response is very often, it would be faster and easier to just recreate the image from scratch. Or use historical art so much it's just right for the taking. Oh, you know this guide? What am I looking at? I call upon the ancestral communal rights for tips. I have no idea what I'm looking at. I'm seeing lines, and there's these dots they're connecting to. Is this the motion you're supposed to make when casting? It's a lot. Let me go read the description again. As Vara in depth, I need to reread it. It's more broadly applicable than 5e. I plan to use it as inspiration for ability and spellcrafting. Uh-oh, Glee's coming in. Oh, someone in my community used that pattern to represent every ability in World Shapers. Good golly. Alright, what are you telling me here?
Hi. This is really cool. This is like a technical guide of how to write and create spells. I've seen an example from, I assume it was the creator of this, where he was saying that he like design cities that the roads and waterways infrastructure would like follow some of these. So like if you had one that you wanted to have like a level of protection around or imbue like a high degree of trade, it's really cool.
Guy made an entire city of magic sigils.
Yeah, city of ward. Yeah, glyph of warding for the city. Yeah, so this is just like a writing system essentially.
I'm lost.
It's cool. Also, I happen to be wearing a magic shirt, so I'm on theme with spell.
Way.
Alright, bye.
Okay, bye. Well, we'll get her on for the Pokemon art stream eventually. Yeah. It's visual code. Or is you gonna defy every single spell? I mean, sure, if you say so. Random person just. That's how you do it. You just summon them. I don't understand it, but y'all seem to think it's cool. Oh, you hear that, Glee? We have audiobook levels of nice voice. I didn't finish that sentence. Back to being a Kraken. Well. I had something. I forgot. Oh, yeah, it got away from me. Nope, it's gone. Alright. Poof it goes. Gadget girl. Sexy dragon. Dragonborn thing. I don't know what it is. Again, is an economic system for ancient Roman fantasy wargame to determine how big your armies can be. Or Krakens eat whales. Is there you were saying twice did to go look at some core rules. Is that a publisher, genre, product, core rule books? Here we go. I want to. Part of me wants to understand this Mythic Game Master emulator. I remember when I first started the Discord, he's still in there. This guy tried to show me how that works. He fired it up in Foundry because it's just a free thing you can get in Foundry, but you kind of have to know how it works in order to navigate it. And it was super cool. Like, it just made a scene, and the book is massive. And it's like, I feel like this is a college course on solo TTRPG play. One Ring is pretty solid, good mechanics. There's a solo small party. That's what I want to do. Let me write that down before I forget. The guy who made Adventurous, I keep meaning to reach out to him. He did Adventurous 2.0, and he's making a very specific solo module thingy for it. And I wanted to get him on stream and talk about it and show it off. Just so he can tell me directly how it works, and I don't have to read. Adventurous. Hey y'all remember we talked last week about the sticky notes? That's what I'm doing. Adventurous solo play. Get interview. I guess I'm gonna keep doing it. It works until I find something better. So if y'all wanna invest in sticky note stock, now's the time. I'll be buying them. Maybe that'd be my fancy merch. It's sticky notes, but they're acorn shaped. It's an Oracle paper gem. Yeah, but like it's so complicated looking. Mythic so overkill. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Look, I stole your sticky notes while you were gone, and I used them, and then I went and bought more, so when you came back, look, I gave you like a whole fresh pad back there. I didn't leave you hanging. I'm not a bad guy. A group with no GM, that'd be fun. Imposing order on chaos. Right. So... Nope, it's gone. I lost that too. Dang it. I'm on a roll today. We played, it was on Avenue Studios. We had the guy from Adventurous run us the game. He's a pretty cool guy. I thought Adventurous was cool. Fabula Ultima. Legend of Misht. Hottest core. Well, we don't want to look at the hottest. We don't want to be with the cool kids. I haven't played for a good while. Cannot GM that game. I know Tolkien, but not enough to not be eaten alive by the table. Let's do it. Pendragon. Hottest community core rulebook. So what's the difference between hottest core rulebook titles and hottest community core rulebook titles? 5e, boo. Can I just like filter out it? Okay, good lord, these are all 5e. Useless to me. Dungeons and Dragons. Awful. Newest community core rulebook titles. It's all 5e junk. An elf and an orc had a little baby. I don't know if I want to play that game. It also, okay, does community just mean 5e? I feel like I've heard Pendragon was good. That cover sure is cool. I'll give it that. Man, there was one game I was really looking forward to playing. Like, I was really enjoying the art style. I can't remember what it's called. But I seen this guy's name, the guy who made it, come up somewhat recently. He was scheduled to run us a game and everything and just disappeared everywhere. Everybody's like, where did this guy go? So, just abandoned ship. Like, all his discords got super offline. I don't know. I can't remember what that one was called. It looked neat. Hey, there's Dolmenwood. It's a monster book for Dolmenwood. Also, I should probably get off here soon. I need to run to the store. I'm about to run out of fruit. Or Tolkien Encyclopedia graduated. No one has taken mental achievement. That's rough. Nope. That's the version of Outgunned we're gonna play. Not the superhero one. We're gonna do Action Stars. Oops. Ironsworn. More Fabula Ultima. Blades in the Dark. That's one I need to play. Because Blades in the Dark is one that a lot are built off of or inspired by, right? Like, didn't we find out Cosmosaurs was built off of that? Cosmosaurs. Forged in the Dark. Okay, did Blades in the Dark come from Forged in the Dark? Is that how this works? Either way, Blades, Forged, whatever. I need to play that one. Not having fruit for a smoothie would indeed be terrible. Well, also I need fruit for my breakfast. See, in the morning I have some yogurt and granola and blueberries and a banana. And I'm bad out of blueberries and banana. I forgot to get some last time I was at the store. And if I don't have my breakfast bowl in the morning, I get grumpy. It makes for a bad day. I gotta have my breakfast. My breakfast at like 10 o'clock. I can't eat as soon as I get up. I have to wait a couple hours. Blades is good. This is some actual narrative first game. Forged in the Dark is this is based on Blades. Okay. So Blades in the Dark's first. Scrap makes parfait, but for some reason we'll never call it. I mean, I guess it's a parfait. Parfaits are usually like sweeter though. I thought they had like, I don't know. They usually use yogurt that's very sweet. 5e is BX with an Irish coat of paint. Hey, there's Warhammer. Fantasy, I have that one. I looked at it once and said, oh, that's complicated. Morkboard. Secret World. Suede. That's another. So, yeah, Suede. So, Blades in the Dark. Savage Worlds. Is Suede part of Savage Worlds? Is that how that works? Yeah, Savage Worlds. Because it stands for something. Savage World something. That's another one I need to play. Maybe not that Secret World specifically, but something Suede. So there's a couple things I'm sitting on I need to play. I've played Index Card like 4 or 5 times. I still could not tell you how that game works. I don't know what it is about it. This is how it is. Some games that don't register for me in my brain, and I keep having to ask, like, what do I do? What do I do? How do I do? Mechborg. Ooh, I didn't know that was a thing. Just tossing it all into a smoothie. I mean, I do make smoothies sometimes at night. That's pretty good. I get a mango, a banana, some strawberries, put a little milk in there, a little shot of lime juice. It's good. So good. Fallout. I've heard Fallout TTRPG is awful. Just like way too complicated. Oh, I own Call of Cthulhu. I didn't know that. It's like scrolling through my Steam library. I didn't know I had this. And I have this basic role-playing universal game engine. Triangle Agency. Solo Hostile. Oh, there's Daggerheart. Cyborg. Shadowrun. Planet of the Apes? What? The official Planet of the Apes RPG core rulebook. D6 systems. You have my attention. Instead of playing with one character group, you might want a more diverse game. You can even run adventure parties comprised of apes, mutants, humans working together, utilizing the magnetic varlant of the world-renowned West End Games D6 system. What is that? West End Games D6 game system. Does it teach you how to play that game? Or do you have to know how it works? I mean, it's a 300-page book. My goodness. For the whole experience. Whoa. Oh, this just came out. When did that? Oh no, that was last year. Alright, have the allergies gotten this bad? Or is something not right here? Added to catalog February this year. Last updated February last year. I know my allergies are bad, but I don't think I'm that far gone, right? Planet of the Apes books are cool because they have rounded corners on the covers. That is cool. Triangle Agency makes me slightly mad. It goes out of its way to make GMing harder. Oh, really? The cover looked neat. That was about it. Basic role-playing universal game engine system. Oh, Call of Cthulhu runs on. Cyberdark is another Shadow Dark skin coming out. Oh, looking forward to that too. Yeah, Shadow Dark seems to be getting a lot of the 5e reskin crowd, I feel like. Like a lot of people are jumping on the Shadow Dark bandwagon and making stuff for it. Oops. That's the old Star Wars was based on. Oh, well shoot. Somebody go get old Grognard. Bring him back here. Wig used it for Star Wars back in the day. You basically roll a pile of dice and add them all. Yeah. It's real punchy plays. Because I've watched old Grognard's movies, or videos, and, you know, where he talks about that Star Wars system, and it sounds pretty cool. Well, that's interesting. Gotta be a mistype. Time traveling ttrpg. Yeah. Well, I mean, Planet of the Apes, right? It checks out. Get your corners off of me. Damn dirty ape. Okay. Well, $25. Maybe not. Maybe if I had, you know, a little bit bigger of a YouTube channel, I'd reach out, you know, be like, hey, you want me to show your game off? Right now, it's just like, hey, I got 3 people in the chat. Give me a free book. Can't do that. But that could be cool. Planet of the Apes. What happens if we... Okay. Do we not have a volume control on that? Alright, we won't do that. That was way too loud. That could be cool. Triangle Agency is in line with the Morkborg-like hostile design. It gives you awful tables. Oh, useful tables, I'm sorry. But covers them up with blue paint and is more interested in being the art project. That's a good way to describe some Morkborg games. They do have some pretty pages. But it's a good game, so I can only hate it a little bit. Squirrel got spooked. 7 of you need to leave. Your left ear suffered. My bad. I stopped it as soon as I could. Our Ghost. Tales of Our Ghost. That's another one I felt like couldn't decide what it wanted to be. And we've talked about that. Like, super cool book. And, you know, the system's a little too crunchy, complicated for me, but it kept wanting to be narrative. But it's like, but you have all these rules. And it's just like, pick a lane and stay in it. But super cool. Like, I would still Unlike Daggerheart, I would still recommend that one to people who like a little more crunch. Rollmaster Core. Core Law. It's got 69 ratings. Ayo. That's a lot of authors. Rollmaster has been the definitive fantasy role-playing game that combines realism and depth. That is not a good selling point for me. Without sacrificing playability. Yeah. Yeah. Mothership, that's one I need to play. Oops. I need to play Mothership, because I hear super good things about that one. Monster of the Week. I hear that name. I don't know anything about it. Other than I thought it was a 5e thing for like 2 years. Coriolis. Let's see. Certainly a noise. I think Shadow Dark is close enough for 5e players to take the leap when pushed like a baby bird out of the nest. That's why I'm making a Dark Space one-shot for some 5e stands I want to help. Yeah. And that's kind of like, that was the target audience, right? Because it was like the good things about older D&D just simplified, streamlined. A lot of RPGs are basically just coffee table books, good for ideas or looking at, but not really for playing. Yeah. Bagley. Nostalgia activated. Neurons firing. Oh, is this your game? Digimon World? Assuming we're still on the same track. My right ear can't hear all that well. Blessing in disguise. Mine too. But it wasn't a blessing. My ear ruptured twice when I was a kid. Damaged it. I mean, I guess you could say it's kind of a blessing in disguise now, but sure didn't feel like it when it was happening. Digimon World was such an awesome and unique game. I've heard good things about it. I need to give it a go. She's gone whaling. Hard at work for our tree climbing squirrel. That's right. Fantasy stuff. This is... I like didn't have my hopes up high, but I wanted it to be good. And then I read something about the system and it was just like 5e in space or something, or yeah. It's like, dang it. Cause this was the Phantasy Star video game I played right here, what this piece of art's from. And I thought it was the coolest freaking thing. Grim Dark Future. GURPS. Looky there. Easy D6. Got that one. Played that one. Love it. Alright, last one, then I'm gonna get off of here. There's a purple alien. A miniature war game. Here you go. Played some Digimon game on PS1 in high school. Couldn't tell you anything about it, but I had fun. Never beat it. My dumb uncle fired a shotgun so close to my protected ear that it stopped ringing. Yep. I get the ringing too sometimes. Like, so annoying. Played using miniatures. The game mechanics are designed to be easy to learn, but hard to master. Bringing engaging sci-fi battles for new and experienced players alike. This rulebook adds a lot of extra content to the core rules, but it includes the core rules. I mean, it's only 47 pages. So it can't be too bad, right? But we don't get any preview. That's some German. Sehr gut, Butch. Wenn man es einmal gibt. I don't know. Blaze is probably dying over there. Makes wargaming fun again. I really like the basic rules. Well, twice dead, that might be something to look at. For you. I got that from childhood power tool use. It only happens when hearing is fatigued, at least instead of all the time. Could be worse. Same uncle shot an air rifle pellet through his brother. That's not good. Anywho, I think it just says that it's a good book. I kind of figured. I think I'm gonna bounce because I'm getting kind of hungry, and like I said, I need to run to the store. And technically, April Fool's Day is coming up, so I'm got to get an April Fool's Day video done. So y'all can start casting some votes for the next video though, and next TTRPG to play. I do have coming up. April's coming up. End of April. I'm gonna get pretty busy, I'm expecting, once I get back from EcclesiaCon. So I head out like the last day of April and then come back a few days into May. Things are gonna ramp up behind the scenes. I'm gonna be super busy, but I think I'm going to continue on with the video route with just, I'll make it when I make it, and when it's done, it's done, but I'll keep streaming consistently. I like how that's panned out. So, not a wargamer, but I thought about looking into Tiny Wars from another dungeon tuber. Is that Tiny D6 or just uses the word tiny? So, but anyway, that's gonna happen. Writing things are what's gonna ramp up beginning of May, I think. So there's that. Still gonna try and get interviews going, stream hangouts. I really enjoy our just hanging out and shooting the poop. That's fun. People seem to enjoy that. But I do need to get more games going. I do need to get more games. That has really dipped off, so that means I have to run them in this work, and I'm really bad at prepping, so I guess I'll work on that, because we gotta do Moss and Stone, and then we gotta get a Nuts Kickstarter going, which means we need to play more Nuts. All right, I'm spiraling. I'm gonna go eat. So see y'all tomorrow at noon for Moss and Stone, and we'll see if I can kill Great Mustache and Blaze. See ya. If I can find the button. Where's the button? Where's the tab that has the button? Oh god. There we go. Okay, now I'm out. See you later.